Oh, gee, Funky Boxing. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. Guys, we got a lot to talk about tonight, and I'm being joined by my co-host this evening, Joseph Heron. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing just fantastic. God is great. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you so much. Got two big gigs coming up this weekend. March 1st, I'm going to be calling all the action on Alamo Media streaming live. It's going to be Robert Garcia Promotions with Texas Boxers and Brawlers Promotions with Alvino Valles. And I'm going to be calling all the action with my brother at 210 Boxing, Brandon Walker, as well as Andreas Katz, Ronnie Shields fighter. Yeah, excited for this Friday. Excited to once again give you guys a sneak preview of all the great talent coming out of San Antonio and South Texas. And then on Sunday, the big one, I'm going to be hosting. I'm going to be performing in direct support for legendary punk vocalist, former Misfits vocalist, guy who took over for Glenn Danzig, the incomparable Mr. Michael Graves, and as a special treat to all of the young aspiring songwriters in South Texas that come out to see the show, we're conducting with my son our first time performing publicly in 6 years. And we're going to be conducting a songwriting and studio recording masterclass. So anyone who's in South Texas, come out to Bonds 007 Bar, downtown San Antonio. And yes, we're going to preview a lot of our new songs that's going to be recorded and being released later this summer.
I like the name of that place, Bonds 007. Hey, shaking, not stirring. All right.
Right on. hey, before we get into boxing, who is your favorite villainous henchman all time? Who's your favorite Bond villain all time?
Oh, dude. Who's the one that was supposed to be Dr. Evil, or that they used to make Dr. Evil? I can't think of his real name, but
his name is Brofeld.
That's the one.
His name is Brofeld, and he's an evil bastard. Well, look, my favorite Bond, truth be known, it's the one I grew up with, was Roger Moore, right?
Okay, yeah.
He was the funnier, wittier James Bond, and my favorite villain from that era is Scaramanga, played by the incomparable Christopher Lee, God rest his soul, man with the golden gun, and his henchman, or at least half henchman, Knick Knack, which was played by Tattoo from Hervé Villachet from Fantasy Island. There you go.
Oh, the plane. And
the
plane.
Speaking
of the plane, plane over at PBC seems to be going down as we speak.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my goodness.
One thing I would like, and all credit to Rick Glazier,
yes.
we kind of, and I warned everyone on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it, to judge slowly, because Canelo, in his big announcement on Azteca TV, didn't really announce shit. And I said, look. What he didn't disclose and what he didn't realize at the time is that, well, Canelo was kind and gave PBC additional 2 weeks to come up with the funding for this matchup for his next fight. They couldn't do it. And from what I've been told, it was his opponent also who wanted too much money.
Yes, that's a problem. That's something we've been talking about here for a while, guys. Stuff to Outlaw in the chat. He says premier broke champions.
Oh, shit. Well, you know what? That's absolutely correct. But one thing I would like to ask our brother Rick Glazier is, how did you know that PBC was a fugazi?
How did you know? Oh, that's a great Al Pacino there. And yes.
Oh, thank you, my friend.
Here's the thing, man. We got to give Rick his due. All right. You guys know we used to do a show every Monday with Rick. We might start that up again. I don't know. We'll see. But Joseph and myself have both done business with Rick. So this notion that was going around YouTube for a while, and Twitter or X, whatever the fuck you want to call it these days, that this guy knows nothing. He's just this, he's just that. There's no way he could know this. Yeah, you guys were wrong, man. And I put that out today on Twitter. I said, look, whether you like Rick Glazer or you hate him, the guy knows too many people in this business to not be taken seriously, man, when he says something like this.
Yeah. And look, and I just said this on Twitter as well. After vouching for him, right? Mm-hmm. I said, look, man, I've done business with Rick. That's how we first met. That's how we became friends. And he's the real deal. Like, I will vouch for him all day long. And the only thing he hates worse than Al Heyman is being wrong about anything. Look, the only thing bigger than Texas is Rick's ego. And there it is. And there it is, guys. But Rick is one of the smartest, keenest guys I've ever met in this business. He is the real deal. Yes.
Yeah, he is, man. And like we used to say back in the streets, he's a motherfucker. Rick is a motherfucker, man. Let me tell you guys.
Ain't that a motherfucker?
Yep.
I'm known. Forget about it.
In all 5 boroughs, I'm known. Hey, you're pissing up the wrong tree, my friend.
And that's exactly what is happening over at PBC right now, man. They are in shambles right now. Reports of the biggest star in boxing, Saul Canelo Alvarez, and what most people think is the number 1 pound-for-pound guy in the sport, Terrence Bud Crawford, are both gone. Unbelievable, man. What a day PBC has had.
Well, look. And we told you guys that this was a possibility. We told you guys that it was a distribution deal exclusively, that the only funding they were going to put forth was marketing and distribution. That's it. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Lesser channels, boneheaded morons who have never worked a minute in this business, who claim to be experts. Well, they said, well, hey, they found a way to give the NFL, millions of dollars. Okay, they're paying them millions. So something tells me that, no, it doesn't work like that, Junior. Sponsorship is everything. Yes. And if you don't have the numbers, ratings, or recorded history of sponsorship, do you really think Amazon is going to pay for that? Or any network? This is why, guys, subscribing legally and being taking a head count, going to class and raising your hand and saying present when your name is called. That show of hands is the most important thing and the best thing that you can do for your beloved boxing at this time. Subscribe, don't steal. Support the pay-per-view financially.
Yes, if you guys want to see the best matchups, man, they have to see support. And then, look, I understand. Look, we're getting close to the day, guys, where you're not going to be seeing these pay-per-views being made out of necessity. These days they're going to be gone very, very soon, guys, especially with the news that we've received today, but not just today, but a week ago from our buddy Rick Glazer. But now today, something new comes up. This is according to Michael Coppinger, where it says Terrence Crawford is reportedly now a free agent. It claims that he claims that Crawford signed a 1-fight deal with Al Heyman's PBC for Earl Spence, and scheduling window for rematch clause has expired, meaning he is a promotional / broadcaster free agent. Ouch. Another big name from the PBC.
That one I knew a long time ago about. In fact, I thought he was a free agent already because I knew damn well that they weren't even looking for the money to fund a rematch with Errol Spence Jr. To me, that wasn't news. That was already a given. But here's the question, though, regarding Terrence Crawford, and we'll get back to the Canelo thing. We know that's the main course, right? This is just the amuse-bouche, right? So Terrence Crawford, who the fuck is going to want to pay for his next fight?
Right, it's going to have to be a nice name, a juicy name, big juicy promotion, man.
If he wants that kind of money, if he wants that kind of money. You know what? And this is why I can't stand. It's like, look, Canelo, guys, he's not in that category yet. He doesn't have that history of consistent pay-per-view sales.
Yep.
Now, obviously, Canelo's will fluctuate depending on the broadcaster, depending on the medium, depending on the opponents, but consistently has the highest number on average for anyone since Floyd Mayweather Jr. And that's not debatable. And so understanding Terrence Crawford, if you're not used to making that kind of coin, and keep that one up. I want to talk about that because I've known that for a minute. Outlaw, thank you for bringing that up, my friend. That's beautiful. But look, Terrence Crawford, if you want to be considered a pay-per-view star, a pay-per-view commodity, yeah, you don't have the luxury of picking and choosing unless you have that recorded history of selling venues consistently, selling events consistently. You're going to have to find a dance partner that's attractive to the mainstream and casual audience and one that's going to sell. If you want those kinds of dollars, which is unrealistic in my opinion, this is a guy who's going to want $20 million at least in his next fight. In my opinion, he retires. He doesn't fight again. If he's not fighting Canelo, then sayonara, sucker.
Yep. Unless we magically get something with Tim Tszyu against not Terrence Crawford, but Keith Thurman. If that pay-per-view does surprisingly well, then hey, we could see that fight. Tszyu brings a good fan base from his home country in Australia, but look, that's a long shot, guys.
In my opinion, Tzew's the star in Australia, and that's where the fight makes the most sense. Okay, even with a Tszyu knockout victory over Keith Thurman, which no one has done yet, and that'll be really making a statement to the American audience. But understand this, guys. The most money Terrence Crawford can make is outside of Canelo is Tszyu in Australia, in which he's not the A-side, guys. That means even if he takes that fight, he's going to demand A-side treatment, and that he's not going to get. And you really think they're going to pay him $20 million with nothing?
No.
With nothing. He's got no title at 54. That means nothing.
Yep. And it was also reported today that he talked with Paco of the WBO about possibly using his WBO super champion status at welterweight to move up and challenge Tim Tszyu for his WBO title at super welterweight.
That means if he tries to enforce that, he'll be entitled to less money. If I were Tim Tszyu and his promoter, No Limits, which they're very intelligent, they're doing a great job pushing him and guiding his career at this point in Australia. Bringing back, in the immortal words of Emmanuel Stewart, bringing back big time boxing to the island. Right? Look, then that means if I were Tim Tszyu and his manager, I would say, you know what? I don't want to pay it. If you want to enforce it and you want to try and twist my arm, hey, go right ahead. We'll push it to purse bid. Well, you'll be entitled to even less money. How do you like that? So that's what I would tell Paco. Hey, do it, brother. There's the line in the sand. Do it. Do it, man.
Yep. We'll have all the chips. I want to make
even more money when I fight Terrence Crawford.
We will have all the chips.
Like Tim Tszyu, if I want to get my ass whooped, I better be making champion-style bread, right? In my homeland in Australia.
Yes, sir. And let's address this real quickly here from our guy Outlaw. And again, guys, let me check the likes. Let me check the likes real quick. Hold on. We got some people in here. Let's see where we're at. Where are we at here, guys? All right. Looks like we're at 5 likes. Let's get them up, guys. All right. We got 10 people here.
I'm going to address 2 things because he just called me a hater. No, look. Just because I tell it like it is, just like Rick, and he'll be the first one to tell you. This is concerning the Al Heyman thing and Terrence Crawford. Just because I speak the truth, and you don't like what I'm saying, doesn't, 1, make it any less true, and 2, doesn't make me a hater.
Yes, sir.
That's it. Look, I don't care. But let's address the Al Heyman hiding in the garage thing. Like, I don't know what you heard, brother, but here's the truth. According to my brother, Ronnie Shields, and other people who has Al Heyman customarily on speed dial, they haven't talked to him since December. And that's when I
Yep.
start doing my Morgan Freeman.
Al Heyman has been missing since December.
That is beautiful, man. What Morgan Freeman. Yeah,
Same.
I've heard the same.
Same Watson. Either get
Maybe-
busy living or get busy dying. That's damn right, Al Heyman.
Maybe that's where he's at. You know, who knows? But
Holy shit.
guys, let's get the likes up, all right? And then maybe we'll open up the phone lines for you guys, all right, to call in, voice your opinion about what we've been talking about here and what's been reported. And it was first reported by our good friend Rick Glazer. He's a real motherfucker, man. I'm telling you
Yep.
guys. And look, let's get into Canelo.
Real
okay?
man of genius. Yep.
That's Rick Glazer.
Let's get into Canelo, and I'll be putting the number in a minute. Don't worry if you want to call in. Like I said, let's get the likes up, guys. Okay, hit that like. Let's get it up, and then we'll go ahead and open up the phone lines for you guys. But look, Canelo. Okay, it was reported that he needed 35 million. His guaranteed
35
purse.
million.
35. He needed that in order to stick with the PBC. And the PBC didn't want him to fight Jermall Charlo because they felt like that would be a financial bloodbath, which I think they would be right because his brother really messed that up the way that he performed against Canelo last fall.
Yep.
So then they asked him, hey, let's fight Jaime Munguia, right? Which we all know, or at least you and I know, Joe. Munguia, yeah, that's a big fight. That's a big fight, man. And now the reports are saying it looks like he could be going back to Matchroom to sign with Eddie Hearn. And Munguia is a name that's been thrown out there, as well as
Hamburger
Edgar Berlanga, who had a sensational knockout Saturday, by the way.
Sensational savage.
So, yeah, man, no Benavidez, no mention of Benavidez, which is the big fight that all of us really want to see from Canelo. And, I don't know. We'll see if that happens, man. I have a few audio clips I'm going to play here in a minute about that. But, Joe, give us your thoughts on this, man.
Well, look. The writing's on the wall, guys. And I told you guys this would be a catastrophic, not just, and this is why I can't understand. Like, you've heard idiots, YouTube propagandists, fanboys, propaganda peddlers is what they are, especially the bald idiots who wear a cap to cover up their scalp. Okay, yes, I said it. Look, they're giddy with happiness, and I have no idea why. Do you think it's going to be great for the health of the sport? Right? Do you think it's going to be great for the health of the sport if yet another major mainstream platform decides to turn their backs on boxing if it fails on Amazon? And I'm telling you this, and we told you this was a possibility, that, look, if the stars don't want to play in the sandbox with Al Heyman, then guess what? You're going to see, get ready for it, guys, Luis Ortiz versus Charles Martin, part 2, 3, and 4. It's going to be that bad, guys. It's going to be that bad. From what I've understood, the only reason why Frank Martin, what I found out, the only reason why Frank Martin is agreed to terms with Tank Davis, he was the most cost-effective opponent that they could find in terms of ability, because he really doesn't bring anything to the table financially.
Nothing.
This is going to be a big-time flop if they even go through with this. If they actually bring this to date and announce this, it might be the event that loses Amazon tens of millions of dollars because of, the inflated purse that PBC might put PBC under, and it might give him Amazon such a bad taste in their mouth that we may not make it to fall or winter time.
Yep.
Like the Tank Davis fight, they're expecting similar numbers. Amazon, because keep in mind, guys, Amazon was sold this. They agreed to this because of Canelo, because of Terrence Crawford, and because of Tank Davis. And if all three guys, obviously Canelo's already out. Terrence Crawford isn't going to happen. So if Tank Davis is their only star and he flops miserably, then just like Fox, Amazon Prime will indeed pull out and not honor the rest of their dates.
They will cut the cord very quickly, man, because,
Yep.
yeah, they just lost 2 major stars in boxing.
And look, and to be honest, and remember when I read the press release announcing their merger with Amazon Prime, I said it's funny they haven't said that Canelo is or Terrence Crawford or Tank Davis will fight. All they said was, oh, they were featured by PBC in 2023 in the best schedule in boxing. That's it. And I said, well, wait a minute. Who are they fighting? And they didn't say that they were part of the agreement. And why? Because Al Heyman knew that this was a potential problem. But Amazon, it's going to be an even bigger problem if they don't deliver with any of those stars. So look, guys, it's seemingly imminent. PBC is on life support, and Canelo may be stepping on the IV at this time.
Indeed, this is bad. This is bad for PBC,
Yep.
man.
It's seemingly imminent, guys.
Yep. I was listening to Rick earlier today on Coach Malachi's show, and he's projecting that, they might not make it through the year, PBC, the way that things are going for them.
I give it to them by the Tank fight. They're going to hold on until the Tank fight, holding on to hope. And then when that flops, only reporting maybe 60 or 70,000 purchases. Yeah, they're going to pack it in and say, sorry. So once again, going back to the blissfully ignorant, how is that looking for the health of the sport in the American market, guys? Do you think the brass at DAZN and ESPN and Disney, do you think they're disinterested bystanders, or you think they're looking at this and saying, well, now that Showtime folded, now that another platform is backing out, what is this worth our investment dollar? Right. Guys, it brings attention. And that's, I don't know how any fan could think that cannot see this. Make no mistake about it, G. Do you think Rick Glazer is worried about the business end of it in the American market? Do you think he's worried about it?
He is.
You think he's just waving pom-poms and is happy that this is all happening?
No, he doesn't want. This is not good for the health of boxing in the U.S. market. You can't. There's no way you could try to make it seem that way, guys. I'm sorry, you just can't. Like I stated, Joseph and I have stated this plenty on this channel and on his channel, that it's all the same fan base, guys.
Look, I don't understand why
the point in drawing lines, man.
Exactly.
Promotional lines. It's weird.
We don't have the kind of fan base that the NFL does, or the NBA even, or the MLB. We're not a mainstream pastime any longer. We depend on the big stars competing in the American market. And even then, at the most accessible platforms, well, they got rid of one, Showtime, which was a lot more accessible than DAZN. And until ESPN proves once again that they're interested in funding a big time event stateside, which they haven't since what? They haven't spent big time money for a big time boxing event in Vegas since the third Wilder Fury fight. And why haven't they? Because once again, guys, I'm going to point this out. They're not disinterested bystanders, and they're not in the business of losing money, which Disney has been losing. They've been bleeding money over the past 2 years. So do you really, until they show once again that they're in the business of staging big time fights and paying out that kind of coin, well, then I tell you what, you might want to get used to hosting your fight parties at noon, because you know
Saudi
what?
Arabia.
The only way it's going to happen is Saudi Arabia or the UK. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Elite Talent here is asking a question in the chat. He says, "Is this karma for how they stole fighters from Golden Boy?" Who knows? I had to be quite
Look,
honest with you.
honestly, this explains, and everyone wonders, man, they just racist, man. Why does everybody hate on Al Heyman? It's because he's black. No, it's
Oh
because he's a
God.
snake, con man, mother. But everyone can't stand. He convinced Richard Schaefer to keep his fighters, his advice talent as free agents while they used the matchmakers and the TV dates for Golden Boy Promotions when they were the biggest promoter in the entire world. When being advised by Don Chargan, they had all the stars, all the biggest. They had, I think, in 1 year, they had over 80 TV dates spread out over 5 different networks.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Okay, and Al Heyman gutted them, left them for dead.
Yep,
That's
and
why everyone can't stand Al Heyman. It has nothing to do with this color.
And that's why you and I, Joseph, we made a show. We did a show around the time that the rumors of Showtime was going to be done away with boxing, and reports were that the PBC was going to go to Amazon Prime.
Yep.
And the title of that live was, "Does the PBC deserve? Does the PBC deserve Amazon Prime?" And it was all due to what you just said. Their history of blowing through networks.
Yep.
With horrible matchups. Again, paying fighters, inflated purses. Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, we can all kind of see it coming, you know.
Yep.
And the
Look,
unfortunate thing
I'll
is,
even pose a better question, right? Guys, and if you aren't aware, just Google Magic. Google Magic, my friend. Look up the name Bobby Heyman and look at his history. Understand and pose the question, is Al Heyman purposely and egregiously trying to kill the sport of boxing intentionally? Because I'm sorry, he reintroduced this trend of grossly overpaying fighters, putting promoters and networks in a no-win scenario, the Kobayashi Maru for all Star Trek fans, the unwinnable scenario. So basically, now with fighters adopting the ideology of safety first mentality, 1, and 2, man, we need to get that bag. We deserve millions. We risk our lives in the ring. No, you ain't risking shit. No, you're not. Because
especially the way some of these guys fight.
That's what I'm saying. You look at all those fighters, they're a bunch of entitled, no action, safety first bitches. Look, I'm taking more of a risk by driving to the damn arena.
Yes, that's true. Driving is very dangerous, guys.
I said it. Yes, I said it. And that's the reality. Do I get millions? No, I've got to pay for my ticket. So, you know what? Don't use that excuse anymore. Show us something in the ring, because right now, platforms, all of them, DAZN, ESPN, all of them are tired of being gouged, and now they're pull out the magnifying glass and are looking very closely at their investment dollar in 2024.
Yep.
Unless you start fighting for fair market value, which was discussed from what I was told at the WBC summit with all the promoters. So who introduced that concept of paying egregiously above fair market value, even though they couldn't sell out my living room on a Saturday night? That was Al Heyman.
Yes.
And Don Chargan even told Al Heyman to his face, you know, Al, I appreciate your concern and you wanting to get the fighters their maximum purse. That we've always felt that way, but not at the expense of the health of the sport. What it does is, 1, these guys don't want to fight. They don't want to stay active. It becomes impossible virtually to create the new stars of boxing if these guys aren't active. And 2, it also makes it virtually impossible to put the best matchups together. Do you really think, how much do you think these guys are going to expect now? if they're receiving millions for soft touches.
Right. Like they came into PBC, right? Fighting the level of competition that they were at the time, getting paid maybe 6 figures, right? 700K, maybe something like that. And you put them in with the same type of guy and let's give 1.5 million. Like, holy shit, like, you think they're going to want something less than that now? Fuck no, they're not. And then if you want to put them in tough, hey, I need double. I need 3 million, like, whew, yeah.
And then when there is a tough matchup, you get 2 counterpunchers looking like they're afraid to get hit, not wanting to instigate the action, not wanting to throw the first punch.
Yep.
So it's a bad product and bad for the health all around. And once again, lesser channels, they have no clue what I'm even talking about. And why? Because they're not in this business, guys. They're not in this business. We've been in this business for 20 years.
And it's funny to see some guys that come on here and question Rick's credibility for a long time now, man. Long time. Whether it was something that he said on Twitter, reporting pay-per-view numbers, whatnot, they would come on and do shows about how he's wrong, how there's no way he could know. Look, I feel like with the news that's coming out, and again, it's being reported by Mexican media and some of the usual suspects here in the States, that, hey, Rick is a legit guy, man. And, you got to give him his due. But yeah, a lot of guys are going in on him because they didn't like what he said about certain fighters and things like that.
I'm going to repeat this one more time, G-Funky.
Go ahead.
Just because we tell you something that you don't want to hear doesn't make it any less true, and doesn't make us a hater. That's it. What I want to know is, and a very good question was brought up, and this was ironically a member of the new media, self-proclaimed new media. Hey, how come journalists aren't reporting this? And Glazier's beating everyone to the story, and they call themselves journalists, and Rick's not even a Well, wait a minute. I thought you were new media, ass clown.
Exactly.
So wait a minute. Are you criticizing yourself?
You're not doing your.
Or are you admitting that you're not a real journalist?
Yeah, you're not doing your fucking job.
You're an idiot.
Question here from Tony Yayo. Says, will Turkey, I don't know that guy's name.
And look, I will say this.
Possibly.
Turkey, you know what? I will say this. I am so sick and fucking tired of everyone calling this guy His Excellency. He's not. I will never refer to another man except maybe if Pope John Paul came back from the dead. That's the only man I would ever bow to and call him His Excellency. So why does everyone keep regurgitating that nonsense? That's just a personal note. Pet peeve.
Yeah, and a shout out to all you guys in the chat. Again, don't forget to hit the like button. All right, we're gonna take some phone calls tonight. We're gonna let you guys call in and speak, but I need to get those likes over 10.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Get it over 10.
Main event of the evening.
Let's go. All right, but look, it looks like according to reports, it looks like Canelo is gonna go back with Eddie Hearn's Matchroom. Right?
That makes me laugh.
So, because the fight that we all want to see, right? Canelo versus Benavidez. We all want to see that fight. What are the chances, Joe, of that actually happening with Eddie Hearn at the head?
Well, look, if it helps build up a fight with Edgar Berlanga, then I think very good. But don't look for it to happen in 2024. No. Honestly, you can expect, take it to the bank, Jaime Munguia will be his opponent, as we projected as early as what? January?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be Jaime Munguia, Cinco de Mayo weekend. Hallelujah. 2 huge stars in Mexico fighting for national pride. I love it. And this whole horse shit about, I'm not going to fight the Mexican. Bullshit. You'll fight whoever brings the most bread and is the most cost effective. That's
Indeed.
it. That's it.
Indeed. And
look, there's only 2 reasons why you enter into the boxing business. 1, to make money. 2, to make more money.
Make more money.
That's it. That's it.
That's the truth. That's
I
the
will
truth,
say
guys.
this. I love the prospect of us finally getting And once again, I'll reveal Canelo's master plan. Diabolical. Hoo-ha-ha. And here's why. Here's what's going to happen, guys. He's been waiting. He understands that Benavidez has hired Memo because Memo's a famous guy in Mexico, right?
Oh, right.
He works with so many athletes, so many soccer players, so many baseball players, so many prize fighters. Famous. And he's actually an engineer. He helps, well, consistently produce new drugs that will pass the test. He helps engineer these. Okay, this is what he does, right? And the only reason why Benavidez has been working with the conditioning expert, Memo, because he's been killing himself to make this weight and keep it off. Remember, he's a fat kid.
Oh, yeah.
He's not naturally slender. He's been killing himself to make 68 still. Okay, so Canelo knows this. You know what? I'll make him sweat until September. By then, he should be ripe for the picking. Like, he's going to have to adhere to that 68 weigh-in. And trust me, Canelo is in the position because everyone knows that Benavidez, he might not even fight before then. They're planning on Gvozdyk, which I think is a terrible matchup, and I'll go into that later. But he knows that
indeed
that he's not going to be able to make weight comfortably, and he's going to implement after his last pay-per-view flop, doing only 60,000 pay-per-view sales. Thank you, diehard fans. He knows he's going to have his way with him in the negotiation room, the war room, and so he'll be able to slap a rehydration clause on him if he wants that fight. Guess what? He wants Benavidez at his weakest state, and he's going to get it. Look for that fight to take place in September. Mark my words, it's going to happen.
Man, let's hope so, man. And shout out to Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Appreciate you being here, man. Look,
Brother Bruce.
I'll just say this. A lot of you fans like to hold these promoters to what they say. Oh, he said this, he said that. So if he doesn't do it, he's a liar, and then we'll never trust him again, you know?
Shit.
Well,
they're all used car salesmen, guys.
Yes, exactly. Our buddy Eddie Hearn, our good friend Eddie Hearn at Matchroom, right? When he was asked about Canelo Benavidez a couple times last year when he was not working with Canelo, this is what he had to say. Let's check it out.
I expect Benavidez to stop Demetrius Andrade. And when he does, I think he's going to make a real claim to fight Canelo Alvarez. And I think Canelo at that point will take the fight. I think it will be that big that he will take it. And I don't think he's afraid of David Benavidez.
And I agree 100%. I don't think he's afraid of Benavidez. And look, he stopped him. He was right about that. He stopped Andrade. And yes, he is the guy who we all want to see fight Canelo. Yep. And now, look, again, he's asked about it again. Listen to this.
For that May day, if you are matching Canelo, who would you pick in terms of Benavidez, Crawford? There's a lot of options out there.
Benavidez is the fight. Benavidez is the fight. Benavidez is the fight.
There it is again, man.
I love
he knows it. Yep. Yeah, he knows it. We all know it. Benavidez is the damn fight to make, guys. So let's hope for September. Look, I'm good with Jaime Munguia. May 4th. I think that's a good fight. Entertaining while it lasts, and it's a big fight, man. So, all right, guys, we haven't done this in a while. Phone lines are open, okay? Call in, give us your thoughts on the news that broke today. There it is, rolling down at the screen, guys. 916-572-1020. Call in.
And don't forget, you can still save money by going to geico.com.
It's salon, you cretin.
It's salon, you idiot. Say it. Salon. No, it's salon. What are you, a cretin?
And yes, indeed, guys. We all know that Benavidez is the fight to make, man. So let's hope Eddie can get it done, man.
And look, here's the primary reason why I think it's going to happen as well. I think Canelo has planned this the entire time. Not that PBC was going to fold, but by that time, by the end of the summer, PBC will completely be dismissed by Amazon Prime and Samson Lukowitz, but to fight wherever he can place Benavidez.
Indeed, man. And when I interviewed Samson last year in person, I was one of the only guys at that time to ask him if he would be willing to have Benavidez fight on the DAZN platform if Canelo was to re-up with Matchroom. He told me that no, he wouldn't, because the John Ryder fight was about a month away, and he said, look, John Ryder, after this John Ryder fight, he's out of that contract. Maybe he knew something. Maybe he knew that they were already going to sign with PBC later that year, because he was, he's pretty confident when he told me no, because he's going to be a free agent after this Ryder fight.
Yep.
So we don't have to go over there. But with everything that happened, late last year, now early this year at the PBC, yeah, he might not have a choice. We'll see.
He might not have a choice. And look, Samson, say what you want about him. Everyone loves him in the business. And why? One, he's a straight shooter. Two, he means what he's saying. He means what he says, and he says what he means, quite literally. And he's a great guy.
Yeah,
a great guy.
Nice
and this
guy.
business, as well as any other, is all about relationships. Everyone likes doing business with Samson.
Indeed, man. And they put on a good show here in my area that's when I got that interview with Samson. And look, nice guy. Didn't know me
The
from...
only one who seems to have is at odds with Samson is what? Elvis Grant's son?
Oh, right.
What the hell was that all about?
I have no clue, man. But
Patootie.
yeah, that was bizarre, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Jerry Springer bizarre. But look, while we're waiting on callers, someone brought up, I think it's Elite Talent. He says, ask about Haney Garcia.
Well, let's address this real quick. This highlighted comment.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
Tank is gonna have to fight some heavy hitters to prop up PBC for the rest of the year.
PBC can't afford it.
They can't.
Yeah, that's it.
I was just gonna say that there's no way, if they can't afford guarantees for these other guys, Tank is gonna have to go in there with someone who's gonna ask for realistic, like we talk, realistic market value. Like, look, Frank Martin will still be making a career high payday if the reports are true, which is $1.2 million to fight Tank Davis this summer.
Yep, that's it. And there's a reason why. And guys, before you stink on that fight, if that fight indeed comes to fruition, which is still a big if, mark my words, he's got the deep amateur background. He's had the great job of matchmaking and giving him tough tests to bring out and add that new wrinkle to his fight game, which is taking the lead comfortably. Fighting behind a more intelligent jab. So he's going to have to implement all of that he's learned if he fights Tank Davis. Because Tank Davis, a lot like Guillermo Rigondeaux at 35, he doesn't take the lead.
No,
he waits, and he's not above stinking out the joint and giving away rounds because he has that much confidence in his knockout power. And why should he not? He's knocked pretty much everyone out. And he's going to try and set trap for Frank Martin. But Frank Martin, guys, if you didn't know, has an amateur in 2016 in the Golden Glove Championships at 41. He has a victory over Virgil Ortiz in the finals. That's how good Frank Martin is. That's why he's still undefeated. And you know what? Tom Brown stuck him in tough.
He sure
problematic style matchups to add those new wrinkles, to bring out that new level in Frank Martin. It served him well up to this point. And trust me, if this fight comes to fruition, it's going to prove to be Tank Davis's toughest fight to date.
Yep. Frank Martin can fight, man. He can box. I think he showed that in his fights against Jackson Martinez.
Jackson Martinez. So let me ask you, why is everyone stinking on this matchup then?
Because it's Tank Davis and PBC, man. We all know that.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, so we all know that there's an anti-PBC group here on YouTube, and that's why YTBC is fucking shit. But yeah, they look. All these guys were happy as a lark when it was Frank Martin was going to cross the street to fight Shakur Stevenson, right? Everyone was happy with that. And look, so was I, because that's a good fight.
Yep.
That's a damn good fight.
A lot better than De Los Santos.
Right. And then now, look, we get look, Frank Martin held out, and looks like he's going to get a big payday against Tank Davis. I feel the same way. It's a good fight, damn good fight. I like the fight.
Guys, it's a much better fight than Haney Garcia. I'm sorry.
Yes, it is. And ask your question about Haney Garcia. I don't know what you want to ask about.
Well, look. I will say this. And this just came up. And I'm reacting now to it. And first when this fight was announced, I'm like, oh no. As outspoken as Henry and Ryan are about their faith, about believing in the Holy Trinity, being the King of Kings. Oh, jeez. Haney's going to turn this shit into a race or into a not just
religious
a war. Even worse, a religious war. A la Holyfield Tyson, creating even more polarization and divisiveness between the boxing public.
Yep.
Is that what we need at this time?
Oh, I think if they're using this tactic to promote this event, yeah, I think they're gonna go about it the wrong way. And look, have we not learned anything from
the Haney's,
that? Yeah, and not to mention all the other weird political crap that has been injected in sports over the last 4 or 5 years with kneeling during the anthem, or if it's political statements on TV while the games are on. And look, guys, here's the thing. I want to make this clear, okay? I'm not one of these guys. Like, I'll talk to anybody about anything, any kind of topic. I don't give a shit, controversial or not. I just don't want it in my sports, because you know why? Because I when I watch sports, especially my boxing, yeah, I escape from reality for those couple hours, man. I don't want to deal with none of that shit. All right.
Well, give the man a hand.
I'm sorry, man. I don't want to deal with it, man.
Bang bang. Yeah. Yeah, I love RoboCop. Yeah. But yeah, that is very true. And you're right on the money, dude. You're right on the money as usual. Guys, last time I checked, we watch our pastimes to get away from the mundane reality. And especially, well, if you have a nagging girlfriend or wife, holy shit, you're counting the minutes till boxing comes on. Last thing you want to do is be reminded of day-to-day quandary that's created by AI on social media. It's horseshit. Right. Damn. Like, honestly, boxing diehards are just as bad now of partisan politics, parishioners in partisan politics, because it almost seems like it's become their religion.
Oh, yeah. And look, Elite Talent here saying Devin Haney was so cringy when he tried to pull he said something about my religion card. Let's keep it boxing. No, I agree 100%, man.
Yes.
I understand that there's going to be things that come up in promotions, right, to try to get under fans' skin, to get them to want to order the fight. That's promotions 101, guys. Okay.
Look.
But when you add sensitive things like this, right? Yeah, you could drive people away.
If Haney believes, and obviously by getting the Ryan Garcia fight, he wants to be embraced by a larger mainstream and casual demographic. If he thinks by promoting his Muslim belief and trying to cram it down everyone's throats, think again. It's going to cause the adverse effect. It's going to cause people to push him away even further, and even diehards to keep him at arm's length.
Yeah, I'm even seeing that on Twitter, because, again, make no mistake about it, guys. Boxing Twitter is what it's called, right? There's sections of Twitter of certain subjects, right? But boxing Twitter as a whole, that is not casual fans, guys.
It's a cesspool of cancerous ignorance.
It is. But I'm already seeing it today as I seen those things come out. People are already starting to call out Haney for, well, if you're a Muslim, why do you do this?
Yep.
And again, it just turns into a rabbit hole, guys. Believe me, I've had these conversations about religion. I've had debates about religion. Like, it never ends, guys. It's something that I feel should not be brought up.
No. It's just like bringing up your political alliance if you're a musician or a public figure.
Yeah.
It creates divisiveness where people will actually purposely, if you subscribe to one political agenda, one or the other, you will get a cancel session and a boycott from that other side.
Yep.
It's the same effing thing. Like, don't these people learn? This is why I encourage every fighter. If you start making money, start working with a public relations specialist. Seriously, that's
Yeah.
what they're there for. They will tell you, you know what? Hire someone also to do your social media because you're not good at it.
Yep. And if you don't got one, believe me, if you need one, these at least the good promoters, they'll stick you with one. Like, I don't know if you
Yep.
noticed this, Joe, but fight week and post fight of Teofimo Lopez and Jermaine Ortiz,
Yep.
you seen Evan Korn
Yep.
connected to Teofimo Lopez
Yep.
hip during interviews. Yeah, he's there for a reason, guys.
Like,
you don't want
guys,
this guy to
when I
fly off
did
the
it-
handle again, you
Yep.
know?
When I did it for several fighters, and 2 of them were champions, actually. When I used to do PR work, as well as journalism, I would have a safety word, a buzzword. Whenever you're saying the wrong thing or saying something you shouldn't, either I would have a pen and click it right in their ear, or I would say, safety, you asshole. I literally had to say that verbatim to one fighter specifically, and I'm not going to name names. It's going to be embarrassing. So I had to say, safety. And he kept going, safety, you asshole. Yes, that true story.
The code word should have been muskrat.
Oh, jeez. No. I picked it easy so they could remember it. Safety, here's your safety word, safety. Because if you say something else, they'll forget. Trust me, I know through experience. If you say something clever, something that even they can identify with, something personal to them, you say it, they're going to think while they're doing the interview, because they forgot, man, why does he keep saying that word?
Right.
So safety is the one that works, guys.
Joe, I want to ask you something, man, while we're waiting on a call. Again, guys, we'll stay here for another 10 minutes or so. Don't be shy, man. Give us a call. We're not going to bite your head off, all right? Call in. Just voice your opinion. You could just say, hey, I just want to make a comment on the topic.
Doesn't even have to be a question, guys.
Yeah, just call in, man. We love to hear from the fans, right? But let me ask you something, Joe.
Oh, you finally said it correctly. Let me ask you something.
Let me ask you something.
Let me ask you.
On the Boxing Voice. Shout out to
Yes,
Mr. Gibbs of the Boxing Voice. He interviewed Jose Benavidez last Friday. And with the announcement that Benavidez was going to move up to light heavyweight to fight Gvozdyk, he mentioned how, look, this guy is a Eddie Reynoso fighter. Like, you said you're the manager. Didn't you deal with Eddie? Didn't you know that this was Eddie Reynoso guy? And he said he didn't know. He said he had no idea, right? And then he goes, well, who did you talk to? Like, you said you're the manager. Who'd you talk to? And he said, well, I talked with Samson and I talked with Luis de Cuba Jr.
Yeah.
And to me, that just told me that
Jose's full of shit?
Yeah, he might have that title, but yeah, he's not involved in any kind of negotiations,
he's
guys.
Look,
that's Samson and Luis de Cubas.
That's it. Samson is a promoter. Luis de Cubas is his manager. That's it. Jose, yeah. Jose, can you see? That's it. Trainer, father, that's it.
Yep.
That's it, guys. Look, he doesn't know shit from Shinola in terms of management. He's there because he likes to talk. That's it. So, hey, slap him with the manager label also.
Yep. Might as well give him the title at least, you know? And but
look, Luis is his manager.
Indeed.
Yes.
And
that's it.
Luis de Cuba, who always reminds me of a young Heavy D from back in the day.
Let me tell you, that guy is, you know, I'll give Luis a call and see if you can come on your show to talk about it. Because that guy, like, when I first did podcasts back on East Side Boxing, before it was called podcast, Blog Talk Radio.
Yes.
Luis used to be one of my go-to interviews. He is so funny because he likes to talk so much shit. You know what? Hey, you know what? I say, you know what? Go fight him. Come fight in my backyard and let him punch you in the fucking mouth. Yeah, he's got a mouth on him, and it's hilarious. I used to love listening to it. I would just say, and just bring up something that I knew would get under his skin. Hey, what do you think about this? Oh, don't get me started. Well, I just did. He's hilarious. So let's get him on your platform because he is comedy and entertainment.
Yeah, man.
And you've got to put him on camera because his face says it all when he's talking.
Yeah, and we tried to get his dad to come on, Luis Tacuba Sr.
No,
yeah. And that's been an issue. I won't tell you what's been going on, but it's been nothing bad. But
here's the story, right? And this is why they don't want. Here's the real story why they don't want. This is some inside information, guys, and you don't have to go to Rick Glazer for this. This is why the real reason why Benavidez doesn't want to fight Morrell. Guess who is Benavidez' manager? You just said it. Luis Jr., right?
Luis Tacuba Jr., yes.
Yep, that's it. Who is David Morrell Jr.'s manager?
Luis Tacuba Sr.
Ding, 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 ding. Big winner, chicken dinner. Yes, that's the real reason why both managers want to make money.
Yep. That's what this business is all about, guys. And look, I know you don't like to hear that. And look, I had to get involved in this thing myself to really see it. But yeah, that's what it's all about, guys. It's not a sport first. It's a business first. That's the way it's ran. So that's why when we come on here and we tell you things, it doesn't mean we like it. We're just telling you the way it is, man.
Yep. Look, in a perfect world, we would have rankings that weren't bought, right? This is why we heavily endorse the ring. And no, Golden Boy has nothing to do with it except for paying the bills. That's it. The ring is its own entity, right? And you cannot, and here's the best part. They do not tax these hardworking fighters.
Yeah, for that belt.
And I say the hardworking fighters because it's those ones who can't sell tickets that depend on the ranking systems. And even if they're not fighting for even a baby belt, if they want to be ranked, they still have to pay that 3%. In ring, that's not the case.
Yep. And just to get back on the Jose Benavidez thing, man, like I don't know how you don't know that Eddie Reynoso is managing a lot of Eastern European fighters, man, today. I had to find that out the hard way myself, Joe. When Joshan was in camp for his fight with a guy from Kazakhstan, I'm not even going to attempt to say the guy's name, but he fought him on the undercard of Canelo Charlo last September.
Yeah,
and he was managed by Eddie Reynoso, and Reynoso paid Joshan to spar and be in camp for 2 weeks with Canelo.
Yep.
In preparation for that Jermell Charlo fight. So yeah, I found that out when they were there, and I was like, wait a minute, you telling me you're fighting a guy from Kazakhstan? Yes. He's managed by Eddie Reynoso. Yes. And you're sparring with Canelo every day if they're in Tahoe. Yes. So you're telling me he's looking at you spar every day while you're going to not only his main prize piece in Canelo, but another fighter that he's managing. Yep. He's getting to look at us every day. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yep. And hey, by the way, great article about that entire ordeal with your man, Joshan James. Great job, man, on Boxing News 24.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. And Joshan just had a fight, pro box a couple weeks ago, got the win against Von Alexander. Looked good doing it. Also, my guy, Kane Sandoval, beats Javier Molina in a good fight. So I want to give my young guns a hand, all right? Those are my guys, man, that, and we're trying to get these guys. I feel like they're the two right now that are standing out from my neck of the woods to actually get somewhere,
Indeed.
Yep. It's been fun, guys. It's been a lot of fun working with these guys. And look, Joe, you mentioned it at the beginning of the show. You guys got a big event. You and your son playing a gig.
Yes.
And then you got the Robert Garcia show coming up. Man, that's fantastic, bro.
Si, senor. All in the same weekend. Well, this is why I asked my son. One, I still haven't figured out yet how to get my diaphragm and abs working since the hernia surgery. to use its maximum potential. So as a result, and two, I'm doing a 4-hour commentary, a Call in a Fight card 2 days prior. So I asked my son to perform with me for the first time in 6 years because I'm not going to be able to sing every song. So JJ, it's going to be an absolute pleasure to share the stage once again with Joseph Jr. And boy, if you're in the Texas or South Texas area, come on up to 007 Bonds Bar, because it's going to be a real joy to be on stage with my son once again. And you get to see the boxing commentator. Hey, I can actually play guitar and write songs. I'm going to be talking about the songwriting. Give all of you young, aspiring songwriters some pro tips, some veteran tips that I've, accumulated and learned over the past 3 decades. So there it is, guys, 007 Bonds Bar, Sunday, March 3rd. Be there. We go on promptly at 8 o'clock.
There it is, guys. That should be fun, man. I wish I could go on down to San Antone.
Yes, Johnny
check
Cash,
that out. Check that out one time, man. But I know you guys are gonna kill it. You've been playing me some of those tunes that you've been writing, man. Brilliant, some brilliant stuff there, man. Really,
you know
all
what?
acoustic,
Thank you, dude, for that, and thank you also for assisting me, because you're a fine musician as well. Thank you for assisting me in helping me finish the songs for my original song, Mind Over Matter.
Yeah, that was fun, man. I'm not, all my years of playing music, I never wrote lyrics or anything like that. Joseph asked me to help him, and yeah, man, it's cool learning new things, man, and helping Joe out. So yeah, guys, we're gonna end this one here. We like to keep them around an hour. And look, we came out here, we gave you our thoughts on Canelo and Crawford reportedly leaving the PBC, and a few other things as well. But
start playing the Undertaker theme right now, brother, because it's
right.
It's time. You're gonna see Paul Bear. Oh, wow, Heyman. Yep, that's it. Yep. Oh,
yep.
Heyman.
Or we could always hit him with the Billy Bats.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Boom! Hey, you know what's a big deal? It's just busting your balls a little bit.
Yeah. I'm just breaking balls a little bit. That's all.
I'm just breaking balls. Now go and get your fucking shine box. Why,
yes,
you mother? Yep. Love it. Absolutely love Goodfellas.
Yes.
You know what, man? Before I let you go, man, I'm a huge cinephile. Absolutely love movies. What is your favorite mobster gangster movie made in America?
Whew. Boy, that's tough, man. That's tough. I'd have to say, I mean, you guys know on the intro that I play. Sometimes I play the theme to The Godfather, so that one has got to be up there for sure. But I mean, I love The Sopranos, man. I know it's not a movie, but it's like one big long movie, and boy, that was great television, man. Probably
it definitely is. Show. Look, I will say 1 through 5 would be one of my favorites, if not my favorite as well, but they had to go through it season 6. In my opinion, that ruined everything, because Tony Soprano became an idiot in season 6, a degenerate, and just a moron.
Yeah.
In season 6. And anyone who's been watching it since day one understands, and that's why we love us some Tony Soprano, because he's no one's idiot. He's the boss. So it was completely unbelievable. I hated every minute of it. You know what? And one, dude, you really think Tony Soprano would have killed Christopher in any other season?
No.
The decisions he was making, they turned him into a buffoon.
He was reckless, man, in that season for sure, man. And that's why he met his demise. I know. He's in debt to Hesh, like, oh man. We could go on and on.
But look, and so for that,
my favorite. Hey, I'm known. Donnie Brasco. Hey, Donnie.
Give me a few five rules, man.
Give me a few five rules. I'm a little light, huh?
Yeah, Donnie Brasco.
Roll that window up. I get a draft.
One, it's based on a true story, and it's a lot more close. It's a lot closer to the truth than Goodfellas and Casino,
Yeah.
which are great, and they're based on true stories, screenplay adaptations, but they really make it pop and add some elements, a lot of them, for the big screen, for storytelling. But Donnie Brasco is as close to the truth as any mob movie or show ever. And with Johnny Depp, Al Pacino, as well as the late, great Anne Heche, it's a masterclass in execution of a screenplay. It is absolutely perfect. And guys, if you haven't seen it, go just type up Donnie Brasco, forget about it scene. That is by far one of the greatest scenes ever written in cinema history.
Yep. And speaking of that, that was a perfect way to end this show. We might have to say with PBC, forget about it.
Forget about it. That makes me laugh.
I'm known. All right.
I've got 26 hits under my belt, and he's shitting his pants over you.
Exactly, man. So, hey, guys, thank you all for joining us. We appreciate it. We'll catch you guys on the next one. For my co-host, Joe Haran, this is G Funky Boxing. We'll catch you guys on the next one. We're out.